Okay. Good morning, Suga-San.
Morning.
So thank you for joining us today at our Voice of Customer and Voice of Partner events. So today we actually would like to talk to you about your career, your view on the smart building business as well. So I think at Arup you were involved in a lot of green building certificates, looking into how we can provide a better sustainable green built environment for the future. So in your view, what is the biggest hurdle right now in the market that you see, in order to really for everyone to become sustainable building and become greener? Yeah.
It's operation. Definitely it's operation because the key lies in how people use the building and how to see the feedback or how to get the feedback from the actual usage of the building and reflect it into the planning, design, and operation of the building to create the virtuous circle. And the problem is, from designer's perspective, is that we cannot provide the owner the actual verifications that this greener methodology or better way of the design would work in the real world. Because the client wished to have the existing example of successful case for this type of building. But we couldn't because there's lack of data to verify that. And looking at our office, for example, we are using laptops and we are using less energy in the building thanks to the advent of smartphones or iPad or laptop as well. We are not using so much power in our daily work, but still the office is designed to cater for a desktop type of the workstations. Still, that is the requirement in most of the building design. But the situation is changing. What I want to say is that we need to capture that change of the building and how people are using a building. And then we can reflect it to the next planning so that we can make the building more sustainable.
But funny, you mentioned operation, because I think for a lot of people in their mindset, it's like Arab is involved in a lot of from consulting, from the very green field, from design and so on, right? So, seems that operation is very far from design stage or, the consulting stage.
Right. Used to be. And that is the lessons learned from, the past experience. Because we all wanted to know what's actually happening in the building after we design and hand it over to the client.
Okay, interesting. So next question is more about smart technology. Okay. So nowadays we have IoT, AI, and then people are talking about automation. Do you think technology really solve the operation problem you mentioned, or it just barely scratched the surface?
Well, the data is a basic start point to confirm anything. And I still remember it was 10 years ago, our project managers counting the people entering into the meeting room and keep the record manually how many hours, how many number of people are using these meeting rooms and that meeting rooms to confirm how many meeting rooms are required for the new planning of the client's office. So they spend 5 days in a week to record all the meeting rooms usage by keeping certain people in place. And that's how we could get the information of the actual usage of the facility. So the technology like IoT, digital technology could resolve it very easily. You can just put the sensors, and after 1 week, 2 weeks, we can get the data and analyze it directly.
So you believe it has a direct impact into, how you operate compared to the past, right? With sensors in place and so on.
That's a starting point, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. And then after the starting point, then what is needed? What do you think?
Well, I would say, we can foresee some potential future, but you never know until you actually get the data and analyze it. Something new or something you never thought about could emerge from the data, especially if it's a big data.
Yeah. So let the data tell the story then.
Yes.
Okay. So coming back to Neuron a little bit, Neuron started with very early on, we were involved in the Beijing Water Cube project, inside Arup, and then later on we become an individual company. So when was the first time you heard about Neuron, and what inspired you to think about, maybe we need smart technology here in Japan as well?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't aware Neuron was developing, and actually our colleagues applied to our client's office until maybe 2018, 2019. When I realized the power of IoT, when I still remember I attended one international conference in the US, and most of people were talking about IoT and digital transformation of the built environment. And I realized that potential power of IoT technology, and started to work on the digital transformation. And that was around 2020. Many clients are interested in the digital transformation, including Neuron system, which was on the news from the international market. And then I started work on the Neuron.
Okay, so even during COVID time, you think people were interested in new technology, or even the appetite has increased because people have nothing else to do? They have to think about how to improve all days?
Well, to be honest, most people, including me,
so
we need to do something because this is the trend, or this looks interesting.
Now that you have seen Neuron, you experience it a little bit, Arup is actually the first mover in Japan to adopt, some technology, and then try to, set up your own Neuron dashboard and so on. So how do you think Neuron needs to improve in order to fit the Japanese market, and what impact can we bring?
Right. Well, the most important thing is that Neuron, as a service, could bridge the gap between the physical construction industry and IT technology-oriented digital world by installing the physical sensors and connecting the sensor to the network. That portion is missing in the industrial structure. Like, for example, the general contractor having the difficulties finding a suitable SIs for the building sensors and IoT digital information. And IoT people cannot enter into the construction industry because of the established complex structure. So someone needs to fill the gap. That's the biggest hurdle, I think.
Okay, so you believe that on the construction side there will be a faster trajectory in terms of smart technology growth?
The wish is yes.
Okay.
But actually, as I explained, there's a hurdle we need to overcome. So the move, I would say, is still slow.
So we mentioned about IoT technology, but what about the legacy systems, the building management system and so on? Do you think the Japanese market are willing to open this kind of data, or the market is still trying to figure it out?
The market is still trying to figure it out, and the existing players are adapting the digital technology based on the legacy market structures. So the move is very slow, I would say, and someone new player could resolve much faster, much cheaper.
That's true. I remember a few years back, McKinsey was rating the digitalization and transformation, progress of different industry. Actually, construction and building is just above agriculture, right? So we are one of the slowest industry to change, but I can see the change is gradually picking up over the years. That's true.
Yeah, I think so.
So, before we go to the other $1 million question about what's the trend and so on, I would like to cover a little bit about the case that you have faced in the past at Arab as well. So, there were many interesting buildings, projects that you have worked on. Is there one that you want to name and say it's very unforgettable, like that's a good lesson that we should learn from?
Oh, unforgettable.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't pick it up one or two projects from the many projects because every project is very memorable, unforgettable. But yes, well, one of the influential projects for me is a very small, almost like a storage building. It's a columbarium, and it was a columbarium. The architect, he was also new to Arab as well, asked us whether we can design a building without using electricity at all. Because columbarium in Japanese tradition is where people are gathering in the midsummer, very hottest day, once a year to play for your ancestor. And for that purpose, the owner needs to provide air conditioning system. And because the columbarium is not used normally, the concrete stores the heat a lot. So they need to put air conditioning a few days before the guest is coming. And that is only for one day in summer in a year. So they want to do without electricity. That will change the way we approach how we design a project. And architect is also collaborating a lot with engineers. That was really a different experience from the traditional approach to the building. And I realized the power of a different approach to the same problem could lead to very innovative, very interesting project. And the outcome was made everyone happy. The building owner was really happy about it, and the neighborhood are visiting the building, and the kids are playing inside the columbarium simply because it was very comfortable. And so, yeah, that tells me that you need to always think about different approach, and you need to be creative also in the way you collaborate with people.
So at the end, there were really no electricity being installed, but still yet provide cooling or?
Cooling and lighting without electricity.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It stands over 10 years now.
Wow, that's very cool. Yeah. So last $1 million question is about the upcoming trends, So where do you see smart technology, smart building technology, impacting the Japanese market in the future?
Right. The most benefit I can see, I would say, is that the building industry could be opened up to more players if we can install the digital technology, the real digital technology in the building. because we are lacking at the same time we are lacking the workforce in the industry. We have a serious problem. And if we can provide more opportunity the way we work in the construction industry, I think that will be a real support for the market.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. With the aging problem, actually, same in Hong Kong too. You know, I think Hong Kong and Japan has the longest longevity in the world, and you know, the baby boomers are entering a stage where you know they are retiring, and we don't have enough workforce to deal with, you know, like how to operate the building, and the know-how is fading away, right, gradually. So I think that's where Neuron and you know smart building technology can play a role to, you know, become the single source of truth, but more importantly, like what you said, how can we make use of our data and so the data can interact with each other finally.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
It went really smooth. Yeah.